I'm going to let you introduce this, Chuck, since you're keen. I want this to be a discussion. This is not a monologue, this one. All right? By definition, it's not a Jewish thing, right? It's an us thing. So I turn to Jacques, and I will definitely jump in and do my part. I want you to jump in and do your part. And the goal is we're going to talk about the covenant and see where that goes. Think of Mishlei Tuesday night. Means by definition, we don't know where it's going to go. All right? It's embrace the fog. That's where we're at. There's a lot of fog. Let's do it. Let's let it be foggy. We're going to come out on the other side as heroes. We don't know what it's going to look like. And who cares? It'll happen. Trust God. This is called, in the back of your minds, keep in mind, this is the Batachon class. If I'm right in how the Torah works, we will end this session having a clarity of the covenant. Say amen. We all agree? Amen. We don't know how we're getting there, right? We all know we have no clue what we're doing. Yes. We have no idea where we're going, who's going to talk. I have certainly nothing prepared. Right? I have no idea where this is going. And we know the Amunah Shlema, there's your Amunah stuff. We will come out on the other side having learned something very profound of the covenant. Now it's like a wrestling match. One of the famous quotes I love is that when you get on the mat, you don't know what's going to happen. That's why I was a bad wrestler, because I used to think I knew what was going to happen. The real wrestler doesn't care and doesn't know what's going to happen. You let it happen. Right? So there's just one quick introduction. One of my favorite movie quotes of all time was in a wrestling movie called Vision Quest. And it's like a wrestler's movie, but it's a great movie. Matthew Modine is in it. It's a great movie. And he's a waiter in a restaurant and in a hotel, and he's a wrestler. And the guy is the cook. It's just the kid and the old man and the cook and the waiter. And he goes to his friend's house, the cook, and he says, "Hey, it's my big match tonight." And he's getting his tie ready. He's ready. And he says, "Why are you coming to see me wrestle? You're losing money for work." He says, "Kid, you think I'd have missed this for anything?" He says, "Let me tell you a little story. In 1974, I went to see a soccer match. And I saw a guy kick a soccer ball upside down and backwards." Right? So it's one of those real powerful messages. And he says, "Elmo, it's just 6 minutes of wrestling." He says, it's not 6 minutes. It's what happens in those 6 minutes. And that's really a powerful message. Right? We're entering something right now. It's what happens in this time. We're setting a parameter of a table. And we're saying, God, this one's for you. We don't want to know what's going to happen. You do it. So we're entering the arena. It's not about what we say, it's what happens inside of what we say. So let's test it. If there's a God, and there is Shefa, and there is Torah, and there is if there is a covenant between Jews and non-Jews, let's see. If it's real, it'll happen. If it's not real, it won't happen. So let's see. Go ahead.
Right. Okay, let me try. I've tried to verbalize this or put words to it, but it doesn't always come out right. Over the last 2, 3, 4 weeks, it was really the covenant that was on my mind. And while learning from Rabbi Katz's material on his website, I learned a principle of Torah. This is also Ger Code, I think. Is from the mouth of God we heard two. Ever heard that? Never heard that.
We'll oscillate back and forth. It's a Gemara, a Talmudic passage in Makos, one of the tractates. Rashi explains what it is, and it says that on Sinai, Mipi HaGevura, it's called in Hebrew, from the mouth of, why is God called the Gevura, the mighty one? Right, the might of the world. God has weird names sometimes, like the place. God is called the place. God is called the might. Names of God are not necessarily halo and harp stuff. It's sometimes very practical. Yud Hey Vav Hey. I was, I will be, I am. Right. So, why do we say from the mouth of God is what God is? The God of Sinai is called the mouth of God, the mouth of the might. God is so mighty that from God who is one, we heard two. For everything that God says, we hear too. Right? We know that in divine language, it's that. Right now, if you listen to my voice, you can hear other things coming out, other levels. If I'm a prophet, I'm even better at it. Right? You can catch yourself speaking double language prophecies, right? You know, like I forget offhand which one examples we say, but you know, these little words like it and the, right? It never wants to stay on the table, does it? It never wants to stay on the table. So let's say he and I had a previous example where the frog who's always jumping on the table doesn't want to stay on the table. Subconsciously, I'm feeding that conversation through. It never wants to stay on the table. And he'd say, they never usually do. Right? Frogs don't stay on the table. Whatever. There's always a double talk going on. I remember being in a restaurant, and there's a baseball game, and I first started getting into Mazel when I was younger. And me and Sam, the guy working, he was like, we were looking at the game, and just sitting back. He doesn't get it, does he? He never gets it. He's not too good, this one, is he?